Hey everybody, it's Christian Buckley doing another MVP Buzz Chat, and I'm talking today with Andrey. Hello.
Hello.
For Andrey, for folks that don't know you, you've been in the program for a while, but who are you, where are you, and what do you do?
I'm Andrey Gubskiy. I'm from Ukraine, and in MVP program, I think it's more than 8 years. So first of all, I am .NET enthusiast. I am author of some open source libraries. Also, I made some activity like write articles for different Ukraine and not only Ukraine websites, portals, and also I had some local events which are dedicated for .NET, for Azure. Currently, because we have the situation in Ukraine, I have not so much offline and online activities, but I continue to support open source projects. For example, I support East-Legit list library. Also, I have my own source, which created for different Microsoft technical stack technologies like .NET, Azure. Sometimes before it was also Xamarin or Xamarin, and data science. And in these projects, I use some Microsoft technologies like OpenAI services. And for example, I have the Dev Digest projects. It's also in different languages, so can be found in English. And I use AI services for run this project. So my service can analyze some different sources, prepare some comments for news and activities which can be interesting for developers. So I try to cover some different areas like writing articles and sharing my knowledge. Also, I trying to do my best for open source community, and also I share some knowledge, some information via my online platforms, and sometimes via offline and online events.
I know that the program has evolved over the years. So I've been in the program for 14 years, and I've seen like there's been a consolidation of the various focus areas. I started as a SharePoint MVP. I'm now it's been, I think this is my fourth or fifth name change, but now under M365, which is a bucket that, I mean, there used to be PowerPoint MVPs and Excel MVPs, and wow, we still call ourselves those, like if our primary focus is that area. But developer tools is very similar. The developer technologies used to be a couple dozen things and been consolidated down. What did you start out as? Was it in the developer technologies, or was it something else?
Yes, I am MP in developer technologies, and I am the developer. I'm software architect. So it's like my hobby. It's like my profession, and it allow me to combine these different sides of when I work in this technology. So I have some pet projects. I have some expertise in commercial development. And this is very interesting for me. So as I said, it's like a hobby, and for this hobby, I also can earn some money, and I think this is very,
That
very good
no,
combination.
that's always a good combination when you can do something that you enjoy personally, but then monetize it. That's a good thing. Yeah, so it's like the dream of a lot of teenagers that played a lot of video games. Like someday I'll make money. It's like there are people, the kids that are making a lot of money doing that. Like that dream has become a reality. What was the journey like to becoming an MVP? When you, if you can, go back in your memory, that like what was that process like for you? How did you
Uh,
find out about the program and get involved?
uh, it was surprise for me. Uh, as I understand, I was submitted to program by local Ukrainian office, but I don't know who was the person who nominated me, and I only remember the day when I received this special form which I could fill, and I even not understand what is it. So I start investigate, and when I understand that that part of program, it was very very big surprise for me, and I was very glad and proud for it. And from that time, I was in program without interrupts, and it always was developer technology. Maybe it was called not developer technologies at the beginning, a little bit different, but it's the same category.
Yeah.
It's about developer tools, about .NET, about C# and all this stuff.
Yeah, I know a lot of things evolved and opened it, and part of it was Microsoft's shift to recognize like the open source communities. I was at Microsoft a few years back and had a good friend that was a VP that owned a lot of the open source areas and was, he fought a lot of battles to try and get Microsoft to support that. And personally, I think a lot of things changed when Satya became CEO, and he was very
Yes.
open to that. But that really, I think, was a turning point in helping Microsoft expand its integrations and tell a broader story that, hey, it's not just about Microsoft technologies. We need to be supportive of these other, go to where the developers are working and the technologies are working with, and partner and integrate and offer solutions for, rather than push, our vision of the developer tool set.
Yes, there was two crucial points. So first, it's support open source, and second, it's when .NET Core was presented, the Microsoft start strategy for cross-platform development. So they start expansion on Linux, on macOS, and I think it's very important because in different commercial projects in which I participated, I understand that if .NET will continue only Windows only tool, it will be not chosen for development, but cross-platform, it was very, very good changing the strategy.
I know there was a lot of talk when that happened. I don't remember the year that it was specifically, where Microsoft was there was a lot of excitement that Microsoft might go and port or re-architect a number of different solutions for other platforms and do things, and most of those things never happened. It never, the other products fizzle out over. Again, I get it. Microsoft is driven by, if there's a small number of developers that are interested in that, they're like, why are we spending all this money, more money than we're getting a return on? And so they shift their direction and move. But there's I think there was just it was a turning point for Microsoft to recognize that. I think again, Satya said it in there's a partner conference. It used to be called the Worldwide Partner Conference, and then got rebranded as Inspire, and it's now gone entirely. But Satya, I think it was his first keynote, where he talked about how our goal is to build the best software in the world. Is like, and where we're not the best, or where we don't even have a solution, we will partner even with people that are, companies that are our direct competitors. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but it was just a very, again, it was a moment where it was a shift that I think has really helped Microsoft get to where it is today. It was a
yes,
big
and
deal.
I remember that maybe a few months ago, Microsoft celebrated 50 years, and it's the company which work in a very active, very fast industry like information technology. Everything change very fast, but this company, it's a leader for all these years, and it has very good potential for future things like AI, like cloud technologies, and it's very, very good, I think, because not every company can save the energy, save the vision for so long period.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you again. So the one of the other changes that's happened is the kind of the evolution of the user groups, the community side of things. I know kind of over in your space, like when Ineta kind of went away and some of these other supporting centralized groups. I don't know how much that impacted your region, whether you're involved in some of those groups, but it's been uh, as I've been involved on the collaboration side in the US, but working with communities, user groups all over the world, they've really struggled post COVID to kind of get things back together. How's I realize the Ukraine is going through some other things right now. It makes community also difficult. But in general, I mean, what's the community, the temperature on community in your part of the world?
Yes, from the COVID times, we had some problems with offline events, and when the war begins, we have much more problem. But community continue their activity, but now it's in a line format. So part of part can't move between cities, so we can't run some big offline events. And some different IT companies, like big outsourcers, before war, run their own community. So it was community, but this community was linked to some software development company.
Yeah.
Now we have a lot of small online communities which are linked to some locations. For example, it can be community of Kiev, of Dnipro, or some other cities. And some time ago, I started the project which was named .NET City. It's the portal where I collected all information about different Ukraine .NET community, so it helped us to understand and communicate between different community, because it's sometimes can be that guys from one community don't know about some other community, but they can share some knowledge, they can share some events. And I hope this .NET City portal can help leaders which run this different community. And also we get information on this portal about Ukrainian open source .NET projects. So I crawl some project via my services and add this project automatically, and some projects was shared with me by their authors. And I hope this website can be the source star place for some young developers, some students who want to find the colleagues, find the friends who can help them in their journey in programming, in development, and I hope it will help people.
I know that a lot of the community initiatives, like Microsoft will try to will host things and kick them off. You have companies that have an interest in some of those activities. Then you have like the pure community for the sake of the community. It's not tied to a company. Individuals get involved and help with that development. I is there in your experience, I mean, where the most traction happens? Where do you get involved with things that are sponsored by the companies, or do you try to stay independent of those?
It was before the war, and currently communities, it's almost isolated, maybe isolated not the right word, but they independent from big companies. If we talk exactly for developer community, not the communities which run by software companies about I talked a little bit before. So what the difference in like two community which run by enthusiasts, we can have no sponsors, but we can have very high person activity. If you talk about community which run from business, we should understand that the first goal is to promote the brand of company. Also, company want to hire some skilled people, but it's a commercial solution, and currently it's not very active. But the independent community continue their events, continue support some projects, and I think it's very important because it's worked before it worked because people have the motivation to do it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, it went, especially like going back to your statement about, monetizing, your passion projects, your hobbies. That's how a lot of open source is. It's you might go in there because you want to network and learn, but you get passionate, excited about solving problems and making something available, being a part of something. It has its own, return. I mean, I think that's why a lot of MVPs get involved in these community activities in the first place. I equate it to a runner's high, and you get energized by, somebody finding content you've created, a solution you've provided, and it helped them get something done. And I just enjoy that process of helping people solve problems. One last question for you. Do you, for somebody who wants to start to get involved, and that's sometimes the hardest part is you feel like, well, that's already up and going. How do I even step in and get involved? So somebody that's like in a open source project, something that you're working on, how does somebody get involved, start working with that team if they want to be part of that? What are your recommendations?
But first of all, you should like project which you want to contribute. So in my case, I always contribute or start project which I use in my pet project or commercial projects, and I understand the context, how it can be used, what's problem can be happened with this product. So when I make my contribution, I do it because I have some real experience and I have some understanding of problem. And this can be very important for core team because core team not always can predict all use cases, all corner cases.
Right.
And sometimes you can find something which can be very interesting, very crucial for core team, but they don't see it because they see some limitation by their tests, by their own cases. So first you should, I think you should use it product and you should like it product. And you can start from something very simple. For example, you can start from extending even documentation because documentation for programmers, it's some part of job which they not always like to do.
That's where I started my career as a technical writer, was working with engineers and documenting all of their changes. And so I very much understand that.
It's very important to have the good documentation because sometimes I can have the very, very good product, good library, but I even don't understand how to start it and cover some simple case.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Andrey, really appreciate your time and appreciate again all that you do out in the community. And for folks, we'll have, of course, links out on YouTube and in the blog. We'll have out to your various social profiles, and you can find out more about Andrey out through those sources. And one thing I always tell everybody is like, don't be shy in reaching out. If you're, especially if you're in the region, if you're somewhere near Andrey and want to get involved in the things that he's involved in there locally. But if you've got questions, you want to connect, don't be shy. MVPs are always happy to connect and talk. So Andrey, anyway, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.